Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel once again. I'm Tony, and today we're gonna do the real review of Yves Saint Laurent's Eau de Parfum. Now, when I say real review, it doesn't mean that anybody else's review is fake. No, what I mean by that is that I purchased this fragrance myself with my own money, so I'm not gonna pledge no allegiance to nobody. There is no brand loyalty. I'm a real consumer just like you. There is no affiliate link so you can click, buy something, and I get some commission. None of that. And most importantly, I am not trying to sell you anything. If I tell you that I like something, that means that I really like it. And if I tell you that I don't like something, that means I really don't like it. And yes, this intro is a complete Flossy Cotter ripoff. I am in no way, and I repeat, I am in no way, shape, or form claiming that I am an expert or that I know more than anyone else in the fragrance community. I'm just gonna share my thoughts and experiences with you so you can decide if you drop your hard-earned money in a bottle of perfume or not. Take my review and really anyone's review with a grain of salt. We all have different perceptions, different skin chemistry, and of course, different tastes. So let's get busy. Now let's start off with one of the most important aspects when it comes to purchasing a new fragrance, the price. Now, there's really no point of telling you how much this fragrance costs right now, because if you watch this video 2, 3, 5 years from now, chances are the price is gonna be a little or a lot higher due to inflation. But today, you can get this fragrance, the 100 milliliter bottle, for $165 US. Price is always gonna be subjective. There might be some people who need to save up for months just to get this fragrance, and there's some other people who can afford to buy 2 or 3 $300 fragrances in a single purchase on a regular basis. So it depends on each people's economy, of course. Now, why am I saying that? Stay tuned for the answer. Is it worth the price? Let's find out. Before we go any further, I want to mention this is my second bottle of Eau de Parfum. I acquired this recently, so this is the current reformulated version. So just bear that in mind. Now let's continue with the notes. According to YSL's official website, it only mentions sage, geranium, and sensual wood, which follows this trend of the brands just giving 2 or 3 notes per release. But according to Fragrantica, on the top notes we've got apple, ginger, and bergamot. On the middle notes we have sage, juniper berries, and geranium. And as base notes we have amberwood, tonka bean, cedar, vetiver, and olibanum. You have good quality notes in here. Some of them might be natural, a lot of them must be synthetic, but that's irrelevant. For my nose, this is a good fragrance. Remember, this is the EDP flanker, Eau de Parfum. Now, what do I smell in here? Remember, this is the part of the video that is kind of subjective, because what I'm about to tell you is just my perception. And of course, it may vary from your perception. So what I'm smelling here is yet another amazing and unique blue fragrance. When you first spray this, your nose will be delighted with that combo of ginger and bergamot, obviously giving this beautiful brightness in the opening, along with that fruitiness, courtesy of the green apple. 5 minutes later, the aromatic part of the fragrance will start to open up. So this aromatic part is divided, but at the same time is blended together. Let me explain. We're talking about geranium. So we're talking about that straight green aromatic facet. Also, we have the juniper berries, which adds this slight piney facet, and in my opinion makes this a little bit more masculine. And of course, the main player, the sage, which gives this a plant-based resin facet. Try to keep in mind those 3 olfactive notes: the green, the piney, and the plant-based resin aromas. And then blend them together. That's what we have for the most part in this fragrance. And on the dry down, we have this slight undertone of tonka beans mixed with a little undertone as well of resin, probably the olibanum, and of course the vetiver, which gives this earthy property. So I'm gonna give you 2 explanations. Number 1, in a nutshell, if you don't care about the olfactive notes of the fragrance, this is gonna smell like a shower gel combined with some cough syrup. Completely disgusting if you put it that way. And a lot of people don't like this fragrance DNA, which, believe it or not, I can really understand why. Because this has a very heavy synthetic feel to it. Now, does synthetic notes make a fragrance automatically bad? No, not at all. But some people just cannot keep up with this smell. Explanation number 2, for all those who are a little bit more into fragrances. As far as commercial fragrances go, and especially blue fragrances, this is a very unique scent profile. Yeah, it does smell synthetic, but this is a very unique mix of aromatic components along with some very interesting use of the vetiver and also the olibanum. Not to mention, for a lot of people, this was the first fragrance that they smelled with the sage note as the main player. So this is not a linear fragrance per se. The most noticeable change is that the bright part of the bergamot, the apple and the ginger basically disappears. Then you have going on this perfect mixture of the middle notes and also the base notes until the fragrance is gone. But basically how you smell the fragrance after 20 minutes you applied it, that's pretty much exactly how the fragrance is gonna smell until it dissipates completely. Now I just mentioned some of the notes to highlight some aspects of it, not all the notes of course, but that's not important because that's just my perception. Of course you can smell different things, different facets when you get your nose in this, because remember, each nose is a totally different world. Now let's talk about a very important topic for a lot of people, the compliments. Now if you have seen any of my previous real review fragrance videos, at this point you already know I couldn't care less about the compliments. And that's kind of crazy because a lot of people buy fragrances with the sole purpose of hopefully feeling validated throughout other people's opinion. That's not my case. I'm one of those weird people that buy fragrances just to please myself, and that's it. If some other people like it, and it's kind enough to give me a compliment, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it, but that's not something I'm after. Now, with that being said, I have received a very good amount of compliments wearing this thing, mainly from ladies. Now, performance. Let's talk about performance. But first, let me remind you something. Not all atomizers were created equal. Some of them are average, just getting the job done. You got those crappy ones that a bottle of perfume basically just spits when you're applying it on your skin or clothing without the consistent burst of perfume. You also got the famous mist atomizer, but you gotta play with them. Each kind of atomizer is not gonna eject the same amount of perfume. But this one is good. Now the performance on Eau de Parfum. Current formulation is below average. I'm getting 4 hours on average, maybe 5 on a very good day for my skin, and I spray this heavily on both my skin and clothing. And I'm talking about 8 to 12 sprays in total. Now projection. Using that amount of sprays, the initial blast is huge. You'll be projecting 2 meters from you for about 5 minutes, then you'll have it within your arm's reach for about 45 minutes, then you'll have it within your personal bubble, let's say within your elbow's reach, for another hour, hour and a half, before it gradually tones down until it becomes a skin scent. Then unless you kiss someone, people are not gonna notice that you're wearing fragrance. Remember, not all fragrances were created with the purpose of being projecting like crazy with a longevity of 12 plus hours. There are more subtle scents that were created precisely with the purpose of being more intimate. But with this one, again, the current formulation, the performance leaves a little bit to be desired. Now, occasions. This juice right here is very versatile with the exception of super high heat. But other than that, you can wear this all year round. Of course, you can pull this off when the sun is up due to the bright part of the bergamot, the ginger, and the green apple. But of course, you can also pull this off at nighttime. I recommend that actually, because of that aromatic quality of the sage and also that resinous part. Now, considering what I just said about the performance, you can easily assume that this is not the fragrance that you want to wear when you go out to the nightclub where there's a lot of people smoking cigarettes and God knows what else, or somewhere in open spaces. This is something that I would use at the office, on a business meeting, going to the grocery store, on a date where you're gonna have close interaction with your significant other, very good for dates, when you go out to the bar to grab a cocktail, or even using it when you're fresh out of the shower before going to sleep. Gender, let's go with gender. This is marketed as a masculine fragrance, and I totally understand the shower gel vibe, but in this particular case, it doesn't necessarily make it 100% masculine. So if you happen to be a lady that likes the smell of this, Go ahead, no one's here to stop you. And finally, age. This is meant to be a versatile fragrance, and I totally agree. You're gonna smell very sophisticated if you're 15 years old, and you're gonna smell clean and somehow playful if you're, I don't know, 50 and above. So quality, decent, versatility, 7 out of 10. Again, you'll need way more performance if you want to cut through the cold weather. Performance, below average. Compliments, yes. Now, personally speaking, once again, as far as blue fragrances go, this is a very unique scent DNA. And that's not something easy to achieve when we're talking about blue fragrances. This one could also be one of my favorite blue fragrances depending on the day and my mood. I've heard some people saying that this fragrance is like too sweet for them, at the extreme of comparing this with Eros 1 million or Stronger With You. I understand the sweet part of this fragrance. Yeah, it definitely has a sweet component, but comparing this to Eros 1 million or Stronger With You, I don't smell this being that sweet. This is much more aromatic and herbal compared with the fragrances that I just mentioned. But again, each nose is a completely different world. Now, the performance on this current formulation sucks compared to the previous one, which was an incredible performer, but it is what it is. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. As I just said, I really enjoy this fragrance scent DNA, but the fact that this fragrance is not a beast mode anymore, that makes it way more usable. Not to mention that the previous formulation, when I oversprayed myself, I immediately had a headache. But $165 for something that does not deliver what it used to? That's why I said that for me the price was TGH. YSL dares to charge more than Chanel for the Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. And the quality on this smells inferior? If I didn't like this scent DNA that much, this would be a hard pass for me. And remember, at the end of the day, do whatever you want with your fragrances. No one, and I mean absolutely no one, is entitled to tell you what to do. This is just my opinion, as I stated in the very beginning of the video. Now, if this review was useful to you, I'd feel very glad, I would feel very honored. But at the end of the day, do as you please. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, I really hope you found this video useful. So, thank you so much. Tack så mycket. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Dankeschön. Muchas gracias. Spasiba. Kiitos. Grazie mille. Arigatou gozaimasu. See you in the next video.